Hello everybody. In the last class I discussed about the transformation of a vector from one coordinate system to another coordinate system, like a transformation of a vector from Cartesian system to cylindrical system and Cartesian system to spherical system and cylindrical to spherical and vice versa. Now in this class I would like to explain about Coulomb's law. Okay. So according to Coulomb's he is given the expression for the force of attraction or force of the repulsion between the two electrically charges. Suppose if you take two charges which are similar charges, positive charge and positive charge. If you bring these two positive charges nearer to each other, what will happen? A force of repulsion exists between the two charges. So now according to Coulomb's, whatever the force exists between the two charges is directly acts along the line joining between the two charges. So see, if I draw the straight line between these two electrical charges, and the force which is existed between the two charges is directly acting along the line, this straight line only. It is not going to act like this, it is not going to act like this, it is acts along this straight line only. Okay, now suppose if you consider the magnitude of this charge is q1 and it is q2, okay, and the distance between the two charges is r. According to Coulomb, the force which is existing between the two point charges is directly proportional to the magnitude of charge at position 1 and the magnitude of charge at position 2. That means the force act between the two point charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of the charges, and it also depending upon the distance. How it means? The force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay. Now if you combine these two equations, the force is directly proportional to q1 q2 by r square. Okay. Now see, this is the proportionality constant. If I remove this proportionality constant, I can write one proportionality constant, that is k into q1 q2 by r square. Okay, where k is called as the proportionality constant. Okay. Now see, the value of k here is k is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, where epsilon is the absolute permittivity, which is also equals to epsilon naught into epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the permittivity in free space. Next, what is the epsilon r here? It is the relative permittivity or dielectric constant. Okay. Now the relative permittivity in free space, in air is equals to 1. That means if you substitute epsilon r is equals to 1, or relative permittivity of air is equals to 1, and epsilon is equals to epsilon naught. What is the value of epsilon naught here? It is 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farad per meter. Okay. Now I am substituting this k value in this expression, so that I will get F is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square. Okay. Now I am substituting epsilon is equals to epsilon naught in this expression. Why? Because I am placing my point charges in the free space. Okay. So that's why F is equals to q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This is a simple force expression for the 2 point charges which are in the free space. Now this simple formula is not enough to calculate the force between the 2 point charges. So we require this force expression in vector form. Okay, that's why I will discuss Coulomb's law in vector form. Why? Because force is a vector, it is not a scalar, it is having magnitude as well as direction. So that's why this force expression is required to represent in the vector form. So that's why I am going to explain you the vector form of Coulomb's law. Suppose if you have a point charge here, it is having q1 magnitude and it is at position 1, and you have one more charge that is having a magnitude of q2 and it is at position 2, and if you take a coordinate system, a Cartesian coordinate system, for the Cartesian coordinate you have an origin here, this is origin. Now imagine that the point charge at position 1 is having small r1 distance from the origin, and similarly you have one more charge which is at position 2, it is having an r2 distance from the origin. Now see, according to Coulomb's, whenever the two charges bringing nearer to each other, what will happen? A force exists between the two charges, and this force acts along the line joining between the two charges. This is the line, straight line which I am joining between the two charges. Your force is acting this straight line only. Now, and see, if these two charges are similar one, that means positive charge. Imagine that these two charges are positive charge. Then what will happen? Which force exists between the two charges? It is the force of repulsion. That means force exerted on q2 in this direction due to q1. Similarly, if force exerted on q1 due to q2 is in this direction, let us name it. The force exerted on q1 due to another charge which is a q2 is F1 bar, as it is a vector, and the force exerted on q2 due to q1 is F2 bar. Okay, now consider the distance between these two charges is capital R12. Why I am writing 1, 2 as a subscript, as the distance is between point 1 and point 2, and I am also representing a unit vector. What is the purpose of unit vector? It represents the direction only, it is not going to represent the magnitude. So that's why it is R12 bar. What is this? This is a unit vector. Why I am representing in this direction only? Why? Because here I am writing the expression for F2 bar. What is F2 bar? It is the force exerted on Q2 due to Q1. That means that should be in this direction. Force exerting on Q2 is towards the Q2. Okay. So F2 bar is equal to, according to this expression, the force is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon r. And what is the distance here? The distance here is r12. So that's why I should write here as r12 square. Now, as here I am writing the force expression in vector form. This is the magnitude. Okay, and in which direction the force is existing on the Q2? Downward direction, and the direction is represented by which vector? Unit vector. So that's why I should write a unit vector r12 bar is here. What is this? This is the force exerting on Q2 due to which charge? Q1. Okay. Now in this expression, Q1, Q2 are known values, whereas R12 bar are unknown values. How can you calculate these two values? R12 is calculated from these two position vectors. So where R12 bar is a bar, R12 bar is the magnitude of R12 square, where R12 bar is equals to small r2 bar minus small r1 bar. If you differentiate these two position vectors, you will get the distance vector. Okay. I will tell you how to solve the R2 bar minus R1 bar in the numericals. Don't worry about this concept. Now, how can you calculate this AR12 bar? This is a unit vector. It is defined as the ratio of vector to the magnitude of that vector. What is the ratio of the vector here? Is the R12 bar by magnitude of R12 bar. Okay, so this is about your vector form of Coulomb's law. Okay, now see. So this expression is valid whenever only two charges exist in the universe. Sir, I have a doubt here. Suppose if I have n number of charges, more than 2 charges, is this formula is valid? No. So in such cases we have to use principle of superposition. Okay, according to this, next note point. Note for n number of charges. For n number of charges. For if we have n number of charges, we have to use which principle of superposition. What is the principle of superposition? According to principle of superposition, whenever you consider one charge, whenever you consider the force exerting on one charge due to another charge, the another n minus 2 charges can be considered as suppressed. That means we should not take those charges into account. That means, see, I have n charges like this. I have charge q1 at position 1. This is my charge which is having magnitude q1 and it is located at position 1. And also have another charge which is having q2 magnitude and it is located at 2. I will take another charge which is having magnitude q3. It is at position 3. And I have one more charge that is q. Okay. So totally how many charges are there here? 4 charges. Now, how can you calculate the force exerted on this charge, capital Q charge? The force, and let us consider this point charge is at 0 position. Okay. How can you calculate P? Let us name it as P. Why? Because we should take origin here in the Cartesian system. Like this. X-axis, y-axis, z-axis. How can you calculate the force exerted on Q due to Q1, Q2, Q3? So if we have these two charges, then it is easy to write the force expression like this: Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R1p square into A1p bar. But here we have another two charges now. So in such cases, we have to use principle of superposition. According to this principle of superposition, okay, whenever I am writing the expression for, see, first of all, according to Coulomb's statement, we have to draw straight lines like this, dotted lines. First of all, I am drawing dotted lines. Why? Because force is acting along the line joining between the two charges. Oh, please. So the line position vectors should be drawn from the origin. It is not from the point. This is point P. And see, your charge which is having q1 magnitude is a small r1 bar distance from the origin, and it is small r bar, and it is r2 bar, and it is r3 bar. Okay. Now, so now first I am calculating the force exerted on q due to q1. That means the direction force exerted on q due to q1. That means the direction should be downward. Force is exerting on q due to q1. That means the direction should be downwards. Okay, and the location of q1 is 1 and the location of q is p. So the distance between 1 and p is considered as r1 p bar, and unit vector is r1 p bar. Similarly, this one. What is this? The force exerted on Q due to Q2, which is R2P bar, and direction is A R2P bar. Similarly, for this one, force exerting on Q due to Q3 is A R P3 bar, and distance is R P3 bar. Okay. Now see, whenever we are writing the expression for force exerted on Q1 due to Q, force exerted on Q1 due to Q is equals to, it is depending upon the magnitude of product of 2 point charges. So which charges we have considered here? We have considered only Q1 and Q. So that's why it is directly proportional to Q1 and Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. And what is the distance between Q1 and Q? See, clearly R1P bar. So the magnitude is R1P bar whole square, and direction, it is A R1P bar. Okay. So in this case, whenever we consider these two charges, other charges we did not take into account according to principle of superposition. Okay. Now similarly, what is the force exerted on Q2? Force exerted on Q due to Q2. Whenever you consider these two charges, it is directly proportional to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught magnitude of R, distance R2P whole square, into direction is A R2P bar. Similarly, the final one is force exerted on Q due to Q3, which is equals to Q3 by 4 pi epsilon naught magnitude of R3P whole square into A R3P bar. So now we have all forces. So after considering all the charges, so finally what we have to do, the force exerted on Q due to all charges, that means Q1, Q2, Q3 bar is equal to summation of all the forces, Q1 Q plus Q2 Q bar plus FQ3 Q bar. This is the procedure to calculate the force whenever we have more than two charges. So up to now we have completed the force Coulomb's law. So in the next class I am going to continue with the electric field intensity concept. Thank you.